Hi everyone, this is Susan from the Graceful Lily Market. I've been a little MIA because, you know, the holidays, and I had my daughter visiting from Jacksonville. She's in school there. She should be graduating very soon. She's going to be a nurse, and I'm very proud of that. What else? Yeah, and I was going to film on the 30th, like New Year's Eve, but I got a migraine and that lasted about 2 days, so I kind of brought in the new year feeling very fatigued and everything else, because sometimes when I get these migraines I pass out sleeping for hours and hours and hours. It's just, and I feel weak for the next few days. It's bad. So now I feel better, and I wanted to make this video. And what I'm doing is my best sales of 2020. Now, the thing is, most of my sales were done on eBay because I just started Poshmark. And the thing with that is after 90 days, the pictures disappear. So, and then me just trying to keep my files smaller, I always erase pictures where I've already sold that item. So I have to maybe show you some of the I have pictures of some of the sales in the last 90 days, and then we'll just mention honorable mention of high sales that I have no pictures of. So if that's not confusing enough. And so I brought my phone because that's easier for me to be. I'm a very visual person, and then I'll hopefully be able to figure out how to put that information right here. If not, this video won't go out, and I'm not very a computer savvy. So let me go to my photos because I already have it set up. And this is in no ways in order because I took pictures of my biggest sales, and I didn't really put them in order. So let me get this. Okay, so one of my biggest ones was I bought this dish set from Royal Albert. It's the American Beauty Rose pattern, and I just fell in love with it, and I even hesitated on whether I should keep it or not. And but one, like the whole dish set, it wasn't a very big dish set, but it had some dinner plates, teacups, the saucers, what else, dessert plates, and creamer and sugar bowl. And it also came with the cake, like a cake plate, like a pedestal cake plate. Now that's one of the things that I sold from that. Now the whole set was $27 for the whole set. So I already got my money back from just selling one item from that collection. So I sold this rare vintage. It's rare because there was one other one there. And these, when I looked at the date, I believe, now I'm looking at, oh yeah, I forgot this is a screenshot. So yeah, so this was from the 40s maybe, I can't remember now, because and everything was in pristine condition, like it's never been used. It was just for display. So I sold it for $85, and like I said, the whole dish set was $27. Predict if everything sells, you know, I could get a good amount of money there. But just selling just a cake plate was it sold for $85. I was asking for $100 because the only other person that had the cake plate, they were charging $120 or best offer, and I put mine at $100 or best offer. So this was the best offer that I had gotten, because before that I got people lowballing me like $50, $40. So when I saw the $85, I took it right away. I think I had it up maybe a month or 2 months. So it did pretty well. I had a lot of interest. So the next one is I got this at a thrift store in the beginning of the year, and I didn't post it till recently because of the weather. So this was, I believe I had gotten this at a 50% off at Goodwill, and so I got it for $4.99. Originally it was $9.99, and it was brand new because it had not the price tag, but it had like a hang tag that where the price would have been, and it's like a rope, like a black rope. I don't know if that makes sense, but and it just looked new. So when I put it up, when I looked up comps, I couldn't believe that it was going for $100 or around that area. So I did put it at $79.99 just to be the best priced possible, and it did sell within a few days. And like I said, out of $5 that I invested in this jacket, or yeah, like a fleece jacket, I got $79.99, and I'm not including you know, what eBay takes out of that and all that. Then this is another great buy. I got this Missoni Target. Now I remember that when that came out, the Missoni, and it was very popular at that time. People were going crazy for this. So when I saw the blanket at Goodwill, I couldn't believe. Okay, so the Missoni blanket, I got it for $4.99, and when I saw it, I was like, wow, this could be a gem. So I took it without even looking at comps. I usually don't look at comps, which might not be something that is smart, but I just don't like looking up comps unless it's kind of empty and everybody's chill. Then I'll do stuff like that if I really want to know what I can get for this. So I got home and I couldn't believe that they were selling for $100 for one with tag. It was $200 plus. So if you have one of these, you might want to, and you haven't used them, you might want to sell it. But mine was used. It was in good condition, and so I started at $79.99. A lot of times when I first list something, I don't do best offer. I want to see if I can get my price for it, and then after a week or so, if I feel like, oh, you know, I need to bring in more interest, I'll stick in best offer. So this sold within days for $79.99. So my $5 investment paid off there. And if you don't know, Missoni did a collaboration with Target a while ago. I can't even remember what date it was. Okay, so then this is when I was trying to do a Home Depot. I don't know if you guys follow Flipping Eric. He was giving people idea like to go to Home Depot. It's a good idea, and I try to get my husband into it because maybe he'd be interested in reselling, because my husband's been home since March because of COVID. He's high risk. So so we bought these bulbs from Philips at $30 a kit, and originally these things go for $100. So we thought we'd try it, and sure enough, somebody bought all of the ones that we had. We had 4, and so we did. Let me see, I wrote it down here. Yeah, so we paid $120 for all of them. So then I got, so we got an offer for $200 for all 4 bulbs, so we took it. But I mean, it is a big chunk of money, but we didn't double our money, but we did get a good, but I don't know, we weren't going to do that again. The price wasn't low enough. I mean, it was compared to the original, but you know, they were going for less online. So this I'm including because it's a Tommy Bahama clutch wristlet. In my Goodwill, they sell Tommy Bahama new. Some of them have a little damage, some of them are samples, but this one was brand new. Nothing was wrong with it. It just didn't have the original what do you call it, tag, but they only wanted $2 for it, so I jumped to it, and sure enough I sold it for $18 plus shipping. And then these are not like really high, but it just makes a good profit. Like this is one of the ones I bought for $1.49. My Goodwill has $1.49 color on Sundays and Mondays, and I go there and I try to find that color. And I got this Lulu Amelia dress. It wasn't my style, but I thought, you know, the colors are kind of bright, might be somebody's style. Got it for $1.49 and sold it for $22.99. Now, for some reason, I do very good with LuLaRoe. I think it's one of those websites, you know, that the quality is not as great, where it's made in China kind of thing, like kind of like Shine, and these do well. I buy them, and sometimes, a lot of the times, it comes new with tags. Now with this one, I couldn't believe when I picked this up, I did not know it was Mackenzie Child. So I picked this up just because it was like a terracotta, and it was painted. I actually thought it was hand painted. Well, it might be hand painted, but I actually thought it was a hobbyist piece or pottery piece. And I found the mini teapot first, and then like a few weeks later in a different Goodwill, I found a mug. So I put them together. I looked up comps, and I realized that it was a Mackenzie Child back in 2004, and then the cup is from 2001 because the date is under it, and it has like, it doesn't say Mackenzie Child on the bottom. It has like a symbol, like a trademark. And I couldn't believe that was Mackenzie Child, and a lot of people collect different Mackenzie Childs, and I saw that it was very popular, had a lot of interest. These teapots were going for $100 or more, so I included the mug, and I just I was asking 100 or best offer, and I got an offer for $80, and I took it. I was getting lowball offers again for $40, $50. I didn't take it. I held on to maybe possibly getting more, and I was surprised when I saw the 80. I took it because it was close to Christmas. It was a good offer, so I took it, and I was very surprised that I had a gem sitting in my death pile, and I couldn't believe that I had not posted it sooner or listed it sooner. So now then I found these mugs, and I knew they were special, and especially because there's people who love to decorate with nautical, and you know, there's men who love their boats and cars and stuff like that, and women. So I found these, and I realized that they were vintage. They were signed, and they're made in West Germany, and they had different pictures. I think there was 2 mugs that had the same type of sailboat, but I noticed that they were online for a lot of money, so I started it at $100 for these mugs. I got a lowball offer for $40. That seems to be the magical number. I declined it because I was like, let me hold on just a little bit long. Then that was like months ago, and I still had a lot of interest on these mugs. So I lowered the price to maybe $80 and best offer. And sure enough, I was starting to regret not taking the $40. But sure enough, I got an offer for $54.99. I didn't want to lose that, so I took it, because I realized how long it took between the last offer and this offer. So I took it. You know, the seller is happy, we're happy, I'm happy. So here's another great find. I'm getting into selling clothing as well, because you know there's a market there. So I decided to sell clothing, and I love fashion. So I pick what things that I feel like is gonna give me a good turnaround. So with this, I found new with tag men's polo Ralph Lauren cable knit sweater. Now I knew it was quality because you know it's just chunky. It just looked like it would be a good present to give to somebody. It had its tags. It still had the sticker. No stains, anything. I forgot what I started it at. I might have asked for the $69.99 without a best offer, and within a week or two somebody purchased it, and I was very happy with that. Only spending, and I only purchased it, which I'm surprised because my Goodwill, the Goodwill that I went to, this one, any name brand, they want to price it at $9.99. So I couldn't believe that this sweater was at $3.99, and that wasn't even with any discounts or anything. They had it marked at $3.99, and I took it, and it paid off. So then I have to explain here. This is a Churchill Red Willow teapot that I sold for $40. And I think I was asking for $59.99, so somebody made me an offer for $40. I took it. It had been sitting there for a few weeks. And the thing with this is that I bought a whole dish set in this pattern. I couldn't believe. I went to Goodwill. I don't remember when. It was several months ago, and they had the whole set. Now I brought my little notes here, so I can tell you what was included in that set. So the set was $74.99, and after looking up some comps of some of the pieces, because I knew that I would sell this separately, so I wouldn't have to, ship everything at the same time. So I knew just from pulling up the comps for the teapot, there was comps that it was sold for $50, $60. So I knew I would get my money, most of it, right away. So I bought the set, like I said, for $74.99. So it came with a salt and pepper shaker. It came with a large oval platter, like a serving platter. Came with a veggie bowl, serving plate. Came with some of the dessert plates. I think like 8 count of dessert plates. Soup bowls. It came with soup bowls. Came with a covered butter dish. Then they had soup mugs. I think there was only 2 of those. Veggie oval serving bowl. Dessert salad soup bowls. Creamer and sugar bowl. What else? Some 8-inch soup bowls. And then they had this serving bowl that was roses instead of the willow, but it was from the same collection. I guess they added it to the collection. And some other type of mugs, and some 6-inch bowls. Then a different kind of mug, like a coffee mug. They had like several mugs, different shapes and sizes. And then you saw the teapot, and then some salad plates, and that's all that I see here. Okay, and then there's some that haven't sold. So I like I said, the teapot I sold for $40. Then I sold 8. Was it 8? Might be 8 or less number, because I had 8 available. I think they bought how many? I don't think it was the whole set, but these are salad plates, and it came out to $119.92. They paid for that. Then a couple of plates of the dinner plate. So I still had a set of teacups available. I have 8, like with the saucer and everything. Then I have a serving bowl available. and still have 6 dinner plates available. And I believe, let me see, oh, I have a gravy boat available. What is this, a covered lid tureen available, which that's the comp, that's around the comps, $59.99 or best offer. And I think that was it for that. But remember I said I sold it for 24. Okay, so I sold it for I bought it for $74.99, and I added everything that I've sold so far. I still have a lot left. Potential is still there for more. Added everything that have sold from this set. So again, I purchased it for $74.99, and after selling all these different pieces, I have so far I have sold it all sold for $474.99. So I think I did pretty good. I mean, I can just, everything else, I mean, it's just gonna be extra, you know. And yeah, so that's a good return. So yeah, so I still have a lot of good pieces that I could still continue to make, like, over, with everything here, over $500-600, maybe more. So then the ones that I don't have pictures, and I'll have honorable mentions. So yeah, I wish I had those pictures. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Squishmallows. There, I would buy the extra large 16-inch. I made a discovery that my daughter's 18, but she loves sleeping with them. They're like these animals, and they're squishy. They look like pillows, but they're not meant to be pillows. But I made a discovery that they were really cheap at Marshalls and TJ Maxx for like $14.99. And sometimes they had them there, sometimes they didn't. But I bought a few just to sell, because I realized they were going for between $40 and $60. So I ended up buying a few just to see how it goes. So I did buy a Black Cat, like a Halloween, and it was a 2020 version. So I paid $14.99. It sold for $45. Then I bought a dog one that was like a schnauzer for $14.99. That one sold for $45. And I still have a couple. One that I actually found at a Goodwill for $7.99, which I thought that might be too much, but it's brand new without tags. Like, you can tell it's just brand new. And I'm selling that one for $30 because it doesn't have the tag. TJ Maxx and Marshalls have this yellow tag thing. Hasn't started yet. Even though they said their clearance is on now, it is, but the yellow tag hasn't started yet. Like, the yellow tag is like their lowest price. So I would suggest keeping an eye out on that, because their prices go to like $5 for a dress, brand new with tags, of course. So last year I went and I bought a couple of things. I paid up for this one. It was a Ralph Lauren men's sweatshirt hoodie, and I did pay $29, which was a lot, but I did sell it. I did listed this for this season, you know, because of the weather, and I sold it for $53. I could have gone for more, but it was sitting there for a few weeks, and I didn't want the weather to come and go, so I got an offer for $53, and I took it. Now I went to, after Christmas, I went to Target just to see what they had, and they had everything in one space, like where all the Christmas stuff was, and they had everything 50% off. So it was weird. They had like their comforters there 50% off, like from Earth and Hand, And then I saw one of the Studio McGee throws, which I don't think my Target carries it, but it was there. It might have been a return, I don't know what, but it was usually $40, and they were asking $20. I bought it with the intention of keeping it because it had like this, it looked like a teddy fur, you know, like the plush was like a curly fur. So I couldn't believe, like I said, let me see how much I could sell it on eBay. Didn't see not a one on eBay to compare. So I noticed that they had another blanket that was being sold, and they had about 10 of those, and they were selling them for $40, what, you know, the asking price. But then I saw the one that I had didn't have any, so I put it for $50 just so I can double my money, and then with the fees and everything, you know, be able to double my money and not have to deal with the fees. So I sold it within a day of posting it, of listing it. I'm wondering if I should have put it at more money, but I like to be fair. I kind of feel guilty when I overprice something, unless it's, you know, it's something that everybody else is doing, you know, that's the worth of it. But mine was the only one, so I did flip that $20 and made $50 minus the fees, so it was around $45, so I little more than doubled my money. And at one point I bought, in the middle of the year, I bought a pottery cat. It was an artist from the 80s. Her name is Hazel Olsen. I didn't know anything about it, but the cat, I know there's a lot of cat lovers out there, and the pottery was pretty big, and it was only $5. It was like this big. I wish I had a picture of it. Like I said, I erased all my pictures when I'm done selling it, and it wasn't available for me to find it on my eBay. So it was pretty big, and it was like a big, substantial looking chubby cat, and it was very well done, and it was signed 1988, and it was Hazel Olsen. Since it was an artist, I decided to pick it up for $5. I went ahead and picked it up. When I got home, there were other pieces. Mine was the only cat. There were other pieces that she did, other animals, and they were asking for $100. So I started my cat at $100, or best offer. It didn't get any movement for a while. I was surprised because it was a very well done artist piece. But finally, I gave up after a month or two, and I lowered it to 50 or 60 or best offer. Somebody came, offered me $44.99. I took it. So I turned my $5 to $44.99 minus fees. So I was happy with that. And then also I tend to find either quilts or Afghans at Goodwill, and I only pay $5 for them, and I flip them for 20, 30, 40. I found a quilt at one point, and it was hand stitched, but it was mass produced. I forgot, somebody told me I had a name when it's mass produced, but it was, I don't think it was machine, it was hand stitched. And then I realized from looking at the pattern that it was a Martha Stewart one from, I don't know where, but it was Martha Stewart. Could have been Macy's, I don't know, but it wasn't. It was vintage. It was very well loved. It was maybe from the 90s. I'm assuming, according to the color, the pattern. And I bought it for $5, and I sold it for $40. So that was a good return. Now I also I pick up jeans whenever I see them for a good price, a good brand. I found a pair of Mother jeans, flared. I know that some people wear the flare. I do. It elongates your leg. So these were flared white jeans. I got them for $10, I believe, $9.99. Because they were from Mother, and I got $44.99 for them. And also don't forget about art. I picked up a lot of art this last year for 2020, and one of them that I like to mention is it was like the horse head watercolor, and it was dated in the back 1950 something. I can't remember what date it was, but I bought it for $10, and I turned around and sold it not too long after listing it for 40 bucks. And it wasn't that big, it was like maybe this big. And so I have other things that I have sold, not specifically, I don't remember on the top of my head, but I've sold other watercolors and oil paintings, and I have flipped it for good money. Like I have bought them between $5 to $10, and I'll sell it for $40, $50. And I currently have some oil paintings in my listings. And of course, you can take a look. I have all my links down in the description if you want to take a look. And for my eBay store, Poshmark, Instagram, my email, and all that information, I have a link below. So one of the biggest risks that I took in 2020 was I was at Goodwill, and they have this place called Treasure Island where they have all the goodies that they have locked up behind the glass, and you have to ask somebody to see it, etc. So I saw Le Creuset, is that how you say it? Le Creuset? I knew that those were very expensive, and this one was shaped as, this one was like a 2-quart. It wasn't that big, kind of like this big. I did a video on it if you want to see. My thumbnail has me holding it, and it's shaped like a tomato, like I said, and it was brand new. It had its tags, never been used. They wanted $44.99. I was like, oh, but it's so nice, and I know those are expensive. So I looked up comps, and I saw that they were going for $200 around there. So I took the risk and I picked it up, spent the $44.99. As soon as I listed it, I had somebody buying it for $150 is what I decided to list it at. So right away, that was a good flip. Now, there was this woman that lives like the next town over, and she always has a yard sale. Not so much now, but she used to have yard sales, and she would put it in Facebook Marketplace. And I had picked up a lot of stuff, and she had a lot of vintage kitchenware, which I love to pick up. So one of the things that I picked up from her, this wasn't actually kitchenware, but I saw that she had a mid-century vanity stool. Like at first I thought it was a piano stool because it turns, and it had those peg legs that are very mid-century, and she wanted $70, $80, and I was like, oh, that's a little too steep for me. At the end, when I was leaving, she goes, if you give me $30, I'll sell it to you. And I gave her the $30. At first I was gonna keep it for myself because I don't have a lot of mid-century in my house, but I do love mid-century, and I do sometimes pick it up and then keep it for a while and then sell it because I feel like it doesn't go with my aesthetics of farmhouse. And I decided to put it on eBay after having it for a few months, and I used it a little bit, and this was dated, and it had a maker's name which I can't remember now. I didn't write it down, but I had a maker's name. I guess he was a very famous mid-century furniture name seller, whatever. So for $30, I bought it, and I sold it for $100. So even though I did look this up, this chair, it belonged to a vanity set, and this is why I knew it was a vanity stool and not a piano stool, because it belonged to a vanity set, like the vanity and the chair. So I did see that it was sold at $200 for the vanity and everything. So I wasn't sure I was gonna get $100 for my stool, but I did. Within a few days, somebody bought it for me, and it was great. And it was, of course, it was somebody from California. I noticed that California loves their mid-century and boho style. Then I don't always pick up Coach, depending. When I see it, they tend to run like vintage Coach, not vintage, like maybe early 2000s. They go for $30-$40, and they always have them for $10. I had found one brown Coach. It had the signature C's. I can't remember what it looked like right now, but I bought it for $9.99 and I sold it for $45. Because of the comps, I was able to get that. If I see it for $50-$60, I'll lower it a little bit so I can get interest. And then I started buying shoes also, because I had done a visit to Goodwill and they had brand new shoes. Like, it must have been a donation from Marshalls and TJ Maxx, because they had the TJ Maxx tags on it or Marshalls tags on them. So I started to buy shoes, and one of the shoes that I bought was an Adidas, and it was like a fluorescent yellow sneaker, and it was a running shoe, and it was $10, and I sold it. It was the first things that I sold on Poshmark for $45, because I had it for $50 or $55, and somebody offered me $45. And I took it. One other thing to look for also, a few handful times, I found Pyrex, like not the little bowls, but the larger bowls, the bigger ones. I would find Pyrex, even the solid colored ones, for $3.99 or maybe even $4.99, and I would flip it on Facebook Marketplace, and for $20. So that was a good flip. I quadrupled my money. At one point I even had a client, which was weird to say I have a client, that anytime I found Pyrex, I would call her, because she gave me her number. She wanted me to, she liked the solid colors, and anything that was almost solid and just a little design she wanted. So to her, I sold 3 of them at $20 each. And then now I haven't been finding but as much, and I did actually find, I had for a while not seen one at Goodwill, and I did find one a few weeks ago for $3.99, and I was able to flip it within a day of listing it for $20. So that's something you might, and it has to be in decent condition. I pick it up if it's like good vintage condition. Like, it might have a little bit of marks here and there, like paint loss, but if it looks really good for display, I would pick it up, and usually I do pick up those. But if they have any like really bad condition, of course I would not pick it up. But I guess that's it. That's the best of my 2020 thrift pickups and flips and sales on eBay. And I just started selling on Poshmark, and I'm starting to get more sales there. It was a slow start at first because I'm not used to using Poshmark. And right now, currently, I just have clothing there. If you want to take a look at that as well, you can go to my link in my description. But now I have a lot of clothing to go through. I have a rack full of clothes that I need to list, and I'll be starting that tomorrow, because I'm trying to make myself more disciplined. I'm going to try from Monday to Friday, make it like a full-time job. To list every day, like sit in this room between 4 to 6 hours, maybe even more if I'm in the zone, to list every day. And that's like one of the things that I want to do for 2021. Be more disciplined with my reselling business, and be more organized, because I'm trying to organize now that hopefully I'll have all these decorations down. I'll have more room to be more organized. I want to change this room to be easy, where I can list, package everything in one room, because sometimes I find myself going in all different rooms, and I know I can't have all of my stuff here. The only thing I have here is clothing. But yeah, all my home decor stuff is in the garage or in the laundry room. So that's something I can't bring in here, because I still have a ferret here. We lost one of our ferrets like right on my anniversary. Our anniversary is December 22nd. My husband and I have made it to 19 years, and this year will be 20 years. So we met actually 20 years ago around this time, and we got married by the end of the year. That's how much we knew that, you know, that we were each other's lobsters. But anyway, now we had 2 ferrets. One of them passed away on the 22nd of December. I think she did pretty well. She had a condition with her, she had a renal condition, which a lot of ferrets get. And she made it 6 years, which is a good long life for a ferret. And now we have one left. Her name is Elsa, and she was a year younger than her. So she's pretty healthy. So we're looking out after her and trying to give her as much attention as possible now that she's alone, because ferrets love to be with other ferrets. So with that said, yes, so now 2021, I want to be disciplined. I want to be organized. What else? Yeah, I want to do better in YouTube. Hopefully I can be monetized. That's one of my goals this year. I got to pay more attention to YouTube. I was trying to do 2 videos a week. I might try to increase it to 3. I have to see how I can do the Monday through Friday with eBay and Poshmark, and then do YouTube on the side. Hopefully that will work. I'm gonna try to come up with a schedule. It's hard for me because I'm not that kind of girl. I'm not the schedule kind of girl. I'm very spontaneous, and I like to run my own show, and that's why I like to have my own business. I don't like to be structured that way, but I know that it works better if I do discipline myself in some way. So I hope everybody had great holidays, you know, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I hope that everybody does well, and this is a better year for all of us. And yeah, so I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.